I've been a freelance video editor for over 10 years. After working with hundreds of big and small clients, I have developed a set of rules every freelancer should follow to be successful. Whether you're an experienced professional, someone who wants to become a freelancer, or you're looking for a side gig to make some money online, welcome to my list of 10 rules of freelance. Let's get started. Always track your time. Freelancers, whether you work hourly or not, here are 3 reasons you should always track your time. As a freelance video editor, I count every hour spent on any project, even if the client doesn't require it. I do this to calibrate myself and my efforts. Freelance projects can last for weeks or longer, taking a couple of hours from your time here and there. So very soon, you'll lose count of how much time that project has taken from you. You can always check how many hours you've spent on any project by tracking time. Is it more than you initially expected, or is it much less than you thought? Reason 1. Over time, you'll better understand how much time different projects require. This data will help you estimate how much time you will need on future projects and price your projects more accurately. Reason 2. It will let you focus better. When the timer is running, you feel almost obligated not to get distracted from your task. Reason 3. You can check your time report and analyze your productivity at the end of each working day. Call yourself a consultant. I know we call ourselves freelancers, but the term freelancer has a lot of stereotypes attached. Like it or not, most clients associate freelancers with cheap labor or someone not professional enough to get a real full-time job. I know it's unfair, but that's how clients often think. Your clients should consider you a consultant. Trust me, they will value and respect your work more. Consultant also implies that your solutions cost more than your skills. It signals to the client that you're an experienced professional with valuable knowledge and expertise that are a worthwhile investment for their business. Don't work for friends. Client management can be tricky and complicated. There are times when you need to say no to a client or even fire them if it comes to that. You need to protect your interests very often, and things can get quite tense. If your client is your friend, you will feel morally obligated to avoid conflicts, even if you're unhappy with how things are going. If you want to keep friends, don't work for them. Sell a service, not time. As freelancers, we often measure and price our work based on the hours or days spent on a project. There's nothing wrong with that. Most of the time, that's the only way we can measure our efforts and get paid appropriately. But time is a limited resource. Even if you successfully sell all your working days, there are only 5 working days a week. Besides, if you work fast, you are getting paid less. That's totally counterintuitive. So, whenever you can, sell a service or a product instead of time. For example, as a video editor, I try to sell a completed video to my client, no matter how long it takes me to make it. Learn to take negative feedback. Dealing with feedback is a massive part of any freelance business. Freelancers spend more time addressing client feedback than on actual creative work. If you work on commercial projects, you will get negative feedback. I mean, tons of negative feedback. This can be hard to handle for a freelancer working in any creative industry, especially at the beginning. That feedback can often be subjective. After all, creative work isn't an exact science. You may think you've done a great job, but your client may think otherwise, and that's fine. People have different tastes. Get used to receiving negative feedback and don't take it personally. Don't lower your rates in the hope of future work. It's fine to offer a discount to a good client occasionally, but never lower your rates in the hope that you will get more work from that client. If you're good at what you do, the client will continue working with you in the future, regardless of the price. But if you lower your rate, hoping you will charge a higher rate on the second project, it will never work. The client will get used to your low rate and expect to pay the same in the future. Sell expertise, not skills. When pitching a project to a new client, the most significant value you should be selling them is your knowledge and experience, not your hard skills. Here is an example. When I negotiate a project with a new client, I ensure they understand they are paying me not because I know which buttons to click in editing software, but because I have worked on hundreds of successful video campaigns for numerous businesses. They are buying my experience rather than my skill of cutting and piecing a video together. Expertise is always more expensive than a skill. Don't send late-night emails. Just like any self-employed entrepreneur, freelancers tend to work long hours, but your clients don't have to know that. If you respond to a late-night email, your client will take it for granted and will expect the same in the future. Before you realize it, They will be annoyed you're not responding to their message immediately at 3 a.m. Work with milestones. No matter how big or small your project's budget is, always break it into milestones and charge for each milestone before moving on to the next one. Here is an example that happened to me a couple of years ago. I was working on a video campaign for a very ambitious startup. The project dragged on for months, and even though I charged a down payment at the start, I was stupid enough not to break the rest of the work into milestones. After 5 months of hard work, the client filed for bankruptcy, and I never got paid for all that work. Don't let your client become your boss. Some clients may treat you as an employee when you work on a long-term project. If you want to know why this can harm your freelance business and how to avoid that situation, check out this video next.